Namaste and good morning, everybody. So we are back to this final session on the path of knowledge, jnana. And the theme of the whole retreat here was from darkness to light. That was the theme. And so if you see, let's settle down. So if you see the titles of the talks which we had here, the two preceding talks, it is the light within ourselves, our nature as light. And the second talk was all in the light and the light in all. In the first talk, in the first session, what we discovered was, I am not the body, I am not the mind. Not that the body is not there, and not that the mind is not there, not that the world is not there. The status of the world, body and mind we will decide later. But the first thing to know is that I am not those things. This is the first, it's like a bombshell. Our whole life is based on this. I am this thing. This is what I am. This is what I need to take care of. This is all of me. And this is a body clearly. And there is a mind within. My thoughts, emotions, ideas, memories, desires, my whole life story. This is obviously who I am. That's why sometimes Vedanta, though it's, in one sense, it's a direct path, but it's also a little difficult because it directly challenges what we think about ourselves. A devotional path, in some sense, is easier because it leaves you untouched. You are what you think you are. We won't bother with that for the time being. Now, there is a God. The world is imperfect, the body is imperfect, our lives are imperfect, we have so many challenges, but there is a reality which is beyond all imperfections. There is a reality which is beyond death. There is a reality which is pure and luminous, all-powerful, present everywhere, all-knowing and kind and loving and just. How wonderful! What is that? It's God. And all we are asked to do is believe in it. And that's not really all that difficult. We may pose to be big skeptics and agnostics and atheists. Most of us are not. We find it pretty easy to believe. We believe all sorts of nonsense. We do. The whole advertising industry is based on that. To pushing a particular brand of nonsense on us, and then we believe it. To some extent, enough, we believe it enough to spend money. We believe it enough to buy stuff, and that's all the advertising industry wants from us. So if we can believe that, what religion does is it harnesses this power of belief to a higher purpose. And by latching onto this, by belief and worship and focusing on this God, this ultimate reality, slowly we are lifted out of our body-mind consciousness. By focusing on the divine, slowly our conception of ourselves becomes divine and our life also slowly becomes divinized. So that's one way. But the other way is look directly at yourself. And we are shown that we cannot possibly be these bodies and minds. There is this question, but isn't the world unreal, the body is unreal, the mind is supposedly unreal? Then in Advaita Vedanta, I remember what one monk said. I'll tell you in Hindi and translate. दुनिया दृश्य थिएटर है या सिनेमा है, महात्मा जी वो बाद में देखेंगे, आप लेकिन दृष्टा हो, ये पक्की बात कर लो. Oh, I've been given infinite time. The time has just disappeared. We have gone. The timer is gone. Wonderful.
We'll get it back up.
We're going to go back into time. What does that mean? What did the monk say? The monk said, whether this world, the display of this world is theater, a Broadway show, or is it Hollywood, a movie? There are these two kinds of displays. One is that there is an actual stage, there are actors on the stage, there are props, actually, physically, and you're sitting there and watching. So, yeah. I remember once I gave a TED talk a long time ago, and they had, believe it or not, they had such a number of rules. And the rules had so many, and it's a whole kit. What should a TED talk speaker do and not do? And there were these big screens set on the ground. You can't see them when you're watching a TED talk, but the speaker can see them. Big screen, flat screen displays with time. One was running up from 0:00:00 to up to 18 minutes. So racing like a sprint. The other was counting down from 18 minutes to 0:00:00. One shows you how much time you've spoken, the other one shows you how much time you've got left, and the third screen shows you what you look like to the camera. So all of these, and you're supposed to monitor all of them and speak, and there is a red circle, a dot, which you cannot move out of. And the instructions are, be natural. So, back to the status of the world, body, mind. One option is that this is like a Broadway show. Actually, there is a body, there is a mind, it's real. But you are not it. You are the witness of the activities of the mind, senses, and body. You are the consciousness, you are aware, your awareness. And what are you aware of? We are aware of the mind. We are aware of the sensory activities, the various modalities, the five senses, and the physical feel of the body. And through this body-mind, we are aware of other people and the world around us. And this is like a Broadway play. Actually, it's there, but the point to be taken away from it is, you are not part of the play. Nobody is inviting you on stage. What we have done is, we have made a mistake. We think we are part of the play, and we keep trying to intervene. And the players keep throwing us out, the actors keep throwing out with you. You're not supposed to be on stage. You are watching the play. Or other option is, it's not even a play. It's like a movie screen where there are just pictures and sound. So there's no real actor, no real props, no real stage. It's just light and pictures and sound. But in either case, the monk said, one thing you must be first sure of, you are the witness. You are the witness. The first option, where it's like a Broadway play, a theatrical performance, is Sankhya. You are consciousness, and the theater company of Prakriti, nature, is putting up a play, a Broadway play for your entertainment and education. Bhoga pavarga, in the ancient words of Sankhya, for our experience and eventual freedom. The other option is Vedanta, Advaita Vedanta, where it says there is no external theatrical company, nor a play, nor a stage, nor Broadway. It is all one consciousness, and in that a movie is playing. In a movie theater, at least we are sitting here and there's a movie out there. But here, you are the screen. You are that screen of consciousness in which the movie of our lives is playing out. So even the body and the mind and the world that we experience, they are all appearances in consciousness. And therefore Advaita Vedanta says the world is an appearance. But in either case, the thing to take away, you are the witness consciousness. You are aware. You are awareness. Not body, not mind. So, in that case, you bring in one more principle of Vedanta. Put in very simple language in Hindi. Jo cheez jahan ki hai Mahatma ji, usko wahin rehne do. Things, keep things where they belong. Keep things where they belong. Keep things in their place. What belongs to the body, let it be in the body. Don't take it upon yourself. What belongs to the senses, what belongs to the mind, keep it there in the senses and in the mind. Don't take it upon yourself. Disease belongs to the body and prana. Don't deny it, but it's there. It's not you, the witness consciousness. Depression in the mind. It's there. But it's not you, the witness consciousness. Restless mind, peaceful mind, calm mind, unhappy mind, anxious mind, anxiety, unhappiness, restlessness, peace, all of them are in the mind. Keep them there. Keep them there. Don't take them upon yourself, the witness consciousness. You'll see 90% of our problems will be immediately solved here. Say, I want. Not I want. The wanting is in the mind. You're the witness thereof. You don't want anything. So, this is the benefit of seeing ourselves as the witness consciousness. This was the first session. The light within. What's the light within? That is I. I am the light within this body-mind system. The second session was, but what is this world? What is this body? What is this mind? We have to settle the question. Is it a movie or is it a theatrical performance? And Advaita Vedanta says it's a movie. It's Hollywood. It's not Broadway. So, actually the world and the body and the senses, sensory activities, the mind, all of them are appearances in consciousness. Appearances in consciousness. Like a dream, like a movie, like a snake seen in a rope. What good does that do? The implication of that is stunning. If something is an appearance in consciousness, what is it made of? See, here's the distinction. In the Sankhya paradigm, what is this world made of? Sankhya will say matter, energy. And there is the stage, the performing stage of time and space. That's the theatrical stage on which the play is being staged. It is real matter, energy, time, space. All of what modern science says, in principle, Sankhya will have no problem with it. It's a product of a material nature. But Vedanta says, if all of these are appearances in consciousness, if it is in consciousness, if all the waves are appearances, if all the waves in the ocean, appearances of water, they are water appearing as waves, behaving as waves. What is it made of? It's water. There is no separate reality called a wave. It's water. All the pottery in Pottery Barn, made of, if it's clay pottery, it's made of clay. All the golden ornaments in Tiffany's, the very word says golden. It's made of gold. All that consciousness appears as, world, body, senses, mind, is consciousness. And therefore, the second session told us, all in the light and the light in all, that it is all light shining. What I thought as objects out there, people out there, happenings out there, or not even out there, in here in the mind, all of that is light shining. I am that light, and that whatever I experience, whatever is there in the universe, is the same light shining with various names and forms and appearing to me as objects. The implication of this is, the light is the only thing that really exists. In Advaita Vedanta, the light is the only thing that really exists. This is called the non-duality of light. The non-duality of light. Non-duality, no second. There are many appearances which appear as a second to consciousness, but they are appearances, and appearances cannot be counted along with reality. Let me repeat that. You cannot count appearances along with reality. The rope appears as the snake. How many are there? How many are there? One. Be confident. One. You can even say one real rope and one snake appearance. True, no problem. But you cannot say there are two things, a rope and a snake. No. If the snake is an appearance, you cannot count the snake. It's like saying, I had a cookie, I loved it, and when I went to sleep and dreamt, I ate 3 more cookies. How many have I eaten? When I wake up, you might say, will you say 4 or 1? You'll say 1. Or you could say 1 real cookie and 3 dream cookies. But you cannot count the dream cookies along with the real cookie, with the cookie in the waking stage. So, Appearance cannot be counted along with reality. Therefore, the world appearance with all its billions of entities and all other beings, including this body, including this mind, you cannot count it along with the light. You can't say, yes, there is the light shining, but then there's the mind and the five senses and the body and billions of other people and millions and billions of living beings and non-living stars from quasars to quarks. All of them are there. Billions of entities apart from the light shining. You can't do that. You have to say all those billions are nothing but that light shining. It's, as Ramana Maharshi said, the universe is the expansion of the self. This is non-duality of light. Okay, cool. What is it to me? Tattvamasi, you are that light. This universe is the non-duality of you, yourself, capital S self. Brahmadvaitam, Atma-advaitam, the non-duality of the self. Jyotiradvaitam, the non-duality of light. This is what we get in the second session yesterday. All right, so this is all very cool and very nice. I've read the books, heard the Upanishads, studied the Gita, and I sort of get it. Now what? This has to be deepened into a living realization. And then one must live this new realization. We are already experts. We live what we consider to be real. Right now we consider this body and mind to be the reality, and this world to be the reality, and we are living accordingly. It doesn't take any practice. This is our spiritual reality. This is our spiritual reality. I am body, I am mind, and yes, if you insist, I have a drop of consciousness somewhere there. And here is the material world and other people before me, and that's how I live. I'm living my life, somewhat better, sometimes worse, and this is going on. But if I am the light and all of this is the light, then how do I live? Because the appearance will still continue. If you realize it's a movie, and it's not a theatrical performance, still the movie will continue. It will not stop. So then how do I live? How do I continue? What will I do with this body and mind in this movie, which is appearing in the one light that I am? So, luminous living, that's the subject for this one. What are the practices for luminous living? I'll talk about 3 practices here. The context is, the source is Bhagavad Gita. In the end of the 2nd chapter, there is a wonderful sequence of verses which talks about stabilizing wisdom, the sage of stabilized wisdom, Sthita Prajna. Arjuna asks this question for all of us. What you have taught, O Krishna, about the self, about knowledge, non-duality, not body, not mind, the immortal self, which is pure consciousness, all that's very great. But suppose, I'm curious, suppose I become enlightened. Suppose I see those who are enlightened. What are they like? How do they talk? How do they sit? How do they interact with the world? How do they live? And how do they become absorbed in that limitless light? Tell me about that. And Krishna ends the 2nd chapter of the Bhagavad Gita with a description of the results of enlightenment. What's it like to be enlightened? What's it like to live in the light? Luminous living. That is the section of Sthita Prajna, the sage of stabilized wisdom. He gives primarily 3 practices and secondarily 1 more, but 3 deep insights into what practices we must do to convert this insight into life. And I'll talk about that. Shankaracharya, commenting on that, he says, that which is very natural to the enlightened ones should be practiced for the rest of us. The way they are not practicing anything. The way Krishna lives his life is not a practice. It's just an expression of his self-realization. Just like us. The way we live our lives. Well, nicely or not so nicely. We are doing well or not doing so well. This is just a manifestation of what we think about our reality. What Krishna feels about his reality, that he is living. So it's natural for the enlightened ones to live in that way. But what can we learn? You might say, I am not enlightened. What's the use of reading about the lives, the characteristics of enlightened beings? Well, the use is this. Then I know the path. And then I know what I have to practice to make that living reality for me. So Krishna talks about that there. Post-enlightenment. But even pre-enlightenment, even if I'm not there yet, I know what kind of life I should strive to live. If I think I am there, well, congratulations if you think you are there, but the work is not over yet. One must now, and Swami Vivekananda's wonderful, simple, powerful words, manifest that divinity. Okay, you know about that divinity. Good for you. Congratulations. But now you're called upon to live that reality. And if I cannot live that reality, there's something lacking yet. Yeah. I'm giving you context. AI is saying, can you give me some more context? Yeah. Sri Krishna says, Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan atmanyevatmana tushta stita prajnastaduchyate. The one of stabilized wisdom. Here itself, Krishna gives the one aspect of enlightened living, luminous living. When all the desires which are set in the mind, they're all gone, given up completely without any remnant. Prajahati yada kaman. Sarvan. All, without any remnant. Manogatan, which are in the mind. Atmanyevatmana tushta. Who is satisfied, fulfilled, absolutely, delighted in that light, in that luminosity, the Atman, the self. By what? By that light. Only in that light. My delight is only in that light. And how do I take that delight? By that light. Then only the wisdom, this realization, this enlightenment is said to be stabilized. So what has he said here? This is the first insight. First of three main insights and one secondary one. What he's saying here is, first of all, he's pointing out the core problem in spiritual life. What is it that ties us to this body, mind, and this worldly plane of existence? He says, Kaman, Sarvan, desire. In Advaita Vedanta, the root problem is ignorance. That I do not know my nature as light, as limitless light. But that may be the root problem. Technically, that is correct. Practically, it is not. Practically, if you look at spiritual life, the real issue is kama, desire. I want it to be this way. Ain't it so bad? It's not to my liking. Strong likes and dislikes. In Sanskrit, it's called raga dvesha. This is what keeps us stuck in this cycle of samsara. I want to make it so, and when it is not like that, it's not. I don't like it. Somebody joked, when the setup is not to my liking, I get upset. So, as long as I'm like this, that means I am this little being, and here is the setup. Some of it is to my liking, and I wish it could be, I could transform the rest of it. Immaturity, the sign is we keep trying to change the world to our liking. Little more mature, we keep trying to change people to our liking. But very soon we find the world and people are very resistant to our plans and programs. They don't obey us. They have no interest in what we want. They will go along their own way, and the world will also flow in its own way. Then more maturity comes when we try to change ourselves. That is a deeper maturity. Our life, our routine, our food, our way of living, all of this, we make changes. We'll try to learn wisdom and change it accordingly. And that gives deeper and more sustainable results. Even more greater maturity is not so much my life as my inner life of my thoughts and feelings, the mind, which seek to change the mind. And the greatest of all maturities is not to seek any change outside, but to find out what is my real nature. Is it the world? Is it other people? Is it the body? Is it my mind? Is it my feelings? Is it my ideas? Or is there something more here? And when we discover that more, we discover that light. the light within, then we realize I am that. And that neither requires any change, nor can we change it. It's already perfect, always was, will always continue to be. Then what about the mind and the body and the world? A secondary question. Would you still change it? Yes, you can change it as a wonderful project to keep on manifesting that light. Then you can truly make some deep, lasting and wonderful changes, not only in one's own life, but also in the world outside. And you can really impact other people also. So this is the idea of this being, of this desire. How do you handle desire? So, the Bhagavan Buddha, for example, suffering in the world is a symptom. But what is the solution? He says, before finding the solution, we must find the cause. There is something causing this problem. What is the cause? The Buddha says, desire, trishna, thirst. And is there a solution for this disease? Yes, he says, it's a curable disease. The solution is called nirvana. And is there a treatment? He says, yes, there is a treatment. Ashtanga Marga, the eightfold path. One ancient philosopher, Madhavacharya, who wrote a compendium of Indian philosophy, Sarvadarshana Sangraha, there he makes a very interesting comment. He says these ancient thinkers, philosophers, sages, they were like doctors. Chikitsakanamiva, just like doctors. They look at, first identify the symptoms. Then they investigate it to find out the root cause. Then they see, is there any cure possible for this? It could be incurable. It could be incurable. There's nothing to be done. They find out, is there something to be done about this problem, a human condition? And then they find the solution. And then they suggest a course of treatment. So he says they are like doctors. Chikitsakanamiva. All the ancient sages and all, they're like doctors. The Buddha also, he mentioned, like a doctor. So here Krishna also points out that desire. The Buddha could have said ignorance of the nature of emptiness. That is the source. It is true. In Buddhist philosophy, you'll find that is the source problem. That is the core issue. However, that is not the practical issue. If you go out and ask people on the beach there in Nasilomar here, so are you still suffering from ignorance of your nature as the non-dual light? They'll go, what? What are you going on about? But if you ask, are you unhappy? Are there things that you want to be different about the world, about your life? They'll say, yes, 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 yes. That is the core nature of desire. That is desire, kama. And he says, Krishna says, that when you center yourself in that non-dual light, you will see from that perspective, there is no desire at all. Think about it right now. If I am that non-dual light, if I'm not body, not mind, I'm just bare awareness. Apart from the world, forget Asilomar, forget the world outside. Forget this body, no physical body. All thoughts are stilled. No memories. I don't even remember my name. Who am I? The name also I don't remember. All past is wiped out. Memory, it's just memory, it's gone. The activity of the mind is stilled. I'm not thinking about anything, not projecting anything. What's next? Nothing. Stop. I do not see anything, hear, smell, taste, touch, anything at all. Just awareness, without anything to be aware of. This particular awareness I am, this light. Now let me ask you, what does this light want? Nothing, yes. Nothing. What is it anxious about? Nothing. What is it afraid of? Nothing. There is nothing to be afraid of. What kind of enlightenment does it want? Nothing. What's it waiting for? Next. Nothing. Nothing. Okay, gently open your eyes. It's only when the body, mind, and the world come rushing back, they have their agendas. Even that's fine. It's only when I, the light, take on those agendas. They give an example of a boss and delegation. What's the nature of delegation? The boss says to his co-workers, colleagues, you can bring your problems to me, but when you leave my office, you'll take the problems away with you. Don't leave them on my desk. What happens to us is, you're fine. You're the boss. You are this non-dual light. Your own projections, they come. Can I come in? Knock, knock. Okay, come in. Here are these issues. And the eyes say, I want to see this. Ears say, I want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. And did you hear what they said? And the mind is anxious. What's going to happen next? And then I look at my insurance problems, my house problems, my paperwork, my assignments and job, which is all backed up, and email, huge amount of email waiting. All of these are presented by the mind and the senses, and through them the world rushes in. And if the poor non-dual light doesn't know the art of delegation, what it will do is, okay, I'll deal with it. Just leave it here. And that's it. You're trapped. No, you will deal with it, but never. So here, sthita prajna, stabilized wisdom. Sri Krishna is telling us, do one thing. If we have certainty that I am that non-dual light, then make up one decision using the mind. Decision is always the mind. The non-dual light does not need your decision, but the mind can decide. For the sake of the mind, for the sake of this personality, make one decision. Decisively, from now on, I will continue as the non-dual light. I will not be swept away. First the intellect sweeps us away. Then the mind sweeps us away. Then the senses sweep us away. Then people in the world, and they involve us in their hurricane of activities and demands. I will not be swept away. Even with eyes open, even with the mind functioning, even with the senses functioning, engaged in this world which is my own projection. I will not be swept away. I will decisively continue as that non-dual light. This is called sthita prajna, stabilized wisdom, otherwise shaky wisdom. Yes, I am that non-dual light, but now I'm a kind of eclipse is going on. The world has eclipsed my non-dual light. No shaky wisdom. With eyes closed, just that non-dual light, very fine. With eyes open, the non-dual light appearing as the diverse, the magical display of samsara. Still okay. Still fine. The ocean calm, without too many waves, and the ocean in tumult and waves. See, if I want you to see the water out there in the Pacific Ocean, will we say, too many waves? Wait, Swami, let the waves calm down, let the tide go out, let it be a little more calm. Then I can see the water. How foolish, then I don't understand what water is. Even when the ocean is in a tumult, tremendous amount of waves and all, you can instantly see the water because it's all water. In the midst of the busiest life. Right now, for example, and any time afterwards, here is the most direct teaching. Don't change a thing. Don't apply any technique. Don't apply any antidote, any yogic technique, any mindfulness technique, any devotional practice, nothing. As it is now, as awful and horrible and whatever it seems to be, as bad as it is now, stop there. There is that light appearing in this way. It is continuously, choicelessly, effortlessly presenting itself freely to us all the time. So, you said, yeah, that's easy to say, you might say. How do I make it easy to see, not just say? So this is where Krishna gives us, first of all, says this samadhi. He's speaking about samadhi here. If you have seen it, if there is clarity, then one great recommendation that Krishna gives is stay with that clarity. And staying with that clarity, you can do it. There are special techniques called yogic techniques which culminate in samadhi and absorption. The Ashtanga Yoga, the eightfold limbs, all culminating in stop the world actually in your perception. Stop the functioning of the senses, close the gateways of the senses, and settle down the mind, and settle the intellect in your conviction, in your clarity, and stay like that. Easier said than done. This practice is called the practice of yogic samadhi. If it's done assiduously, it will lead to the actual samadhi, actual experience of asampragyat or nirvikalpa samadhi, where this non-dual light will be obvious. You will be that. Stay in it for long periods of time till the mind gets soaked, marinated in this realization. It will become a reality for us. What we said, I got it intellectually, but it goes away. You will never complain about that anymore. You will know. It's always there. It becomes very obvious. Chitta vritti nirodha, cessation of the movements of the mind. I can talk more about it when you in the Q&A session. So this is one recommendation. Two more recommendations of Sri Krishna for luminous living, and the third and the fourth, the secondary recommendation I'll just mention. In this next verse, Sri Krishna says, what about the mind? Yes, I will center myself as the luminous consciousness. But when I'm active with eyes open, engaging the world, there's something that a practice at the level of the mind. Dukkeshu anudvignamana, sukheshu vigataspriya, vitaraga bhayakroda sthitadi muniruchyate. The sage of stabilized wisdom. In the midst of the activities of life, experiences of life, when sorrows come, the mind is not shaken. When pleasant experiences come, the mind doesn't chase them and try to preserve them. Free of attachment and repulsion. Vita raga, also dvesha. Fear. Free of fear. Fearless the mind becomes. Free of anger and hatred. That mind, keeping that mind. Swami Vivekananda summarized it in one short sentence. Never let anything disturb the serenity of your mind. It's a practice. Every moment the world will help you to practice. It will help us to practice. It will try to disturb the serenity of our minds. You can respond to the world continuously without losing the serenity of our minds. That not losing the serenity of our minds is a great, great practice. So that's at the level of the mind. Then at the level of our actions and our daily lives, the third verse which Krishna says, the third one is that Sarvatra nabhisneya tat prapya shubha shubham nabhinandati nadveshti tasya pragya pratishtita. As things keep happening in the world, some will be to your liking, the setup will be nice. Some will not be to our liking, the setup will be not to our liking. So, but don't get upset then. Make it a practice. Whatever comes in the world, pleasant and unpleasant, likable and unlikable, we do not react to it with, somebody put it very beautifully. Vedanta is moving from, when the world throws something, a curved ball at you. What? To so what? So the journey from what to so what? So this is at the level of our lives. Calm it down, turn down the volume. This is the threefold suggestion. And the last one, the addendum, the fine print, Krishna goes on for almost the rest of that Sthita Pragya verses. The importance of keeping the senses under control. On the path of knowledge, the power, Swami Vivekananda calls it tejaha, the radiance of the senses. They are doing what they're designed to do. But unless we are careful, the intellect will be swept away by the activities of the senses. So sense control, the rest of the Sthita Pragya verses, almost all of it. Swami Vivekananda says in one place, the path of knowledge, he says, this is the royal road, but he says on this path many people come to an understanding, few realize. And then he says, here the chief practice, wait for it, we think the chief practice is all sorts of philosophy, hearing, meditating, reasoning. The chief practice on this path is a control of the senses. So with this, let me do a peace chant. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu.